telemedicine law is beautifully constituted, which is based on single principle. And principle of telemedicine law says that it is the RMP's choice. The governing principle is that if doctor feels that this patient can be treated on a telemedicine, then it is allowed. So professionals' judgment is going to play a vital role in telemedicine. And that's the reason this law is made such a way that if professionals get connected to any patient and professional feels that on this platform I cannot treat the patient, then he can abandon teleconsultation and request them to come to your clinic, and then you physically examine them and do a treatment. But on OPD level, friends, 70% cases can be treated on teleconsultation. So beautifully construed principle, which says professional judgment means every power is given to yourself to decide and define and treat your patient. The same guidelines has opened the door for every respect. Guidelines very clearly says that RMPs who are registered under MCI, and naturally the notification supports you, another notification by respective institute supports you, can practice telemedicine. Furtherance to that, the modality is given to the people to treat the patient in different respect, including the technology platform. The telemedicine guidelines very clearly says that you can treat a patient on a video by examining on video, where less chances of missing any cues to diagnose or come to any differential diagnosis or provisional diagnosis. You can also treat patient on audio. You can also treat your patient on chat messages or email. So every technology platform is open for you to treat your patient. Further guideline says that you can treat new patient also, including follow-up patient. So new patient also means whole country is open for you. I always say to my friends, earlier you used to take a lot of time to stabilize yourself in any country or any part of the country, because being an ophthalmologist or being a gynecologist or being any of the practitioner, if you think of starting a clinic or dental surgeon or whatever in local area, having a population of 2 lakh, you'll find 20 odd doctors of same qualification practicing in same domain, same district, same place. Then there is a huge competition of 20 doctors with 2 lakhs population. It takes time to stabilize by doctor. But today, you got 130 crore population waiting for your expertise treatment. You just need to intimate that I am available for yourself. So professional judgment, 130 crore population. And while examining, you develop the trust. And a patient wanted to go for some surgery or any other admission treatment, which is as good as medical tourism, you can call upon a patient to your center and treat the patient on trust. Patient is ready to go anywhere for the treatment. The teleconsultation guidelines further allow you to prescribe majority of a medicine which you can use for treating a patient, like you're doing in OPD clinic of yours. For new patient, the only thing which guidelines says that preferably you should go for video consultation. Why is preferably? Many of the time, new patient also can call you on a phone, wanted to have a treatment on a phone because they are not getting connected to you on video immediately. In such a scenario, yes, you can definitely listen to his symptom and can prescribe OTC product. OTC product like a paracetamol, many of the cough syrups are available, many of the analgesic, anti-inflammatory drugs are available. The basic drugs are there even to the first timer patient. You can prescribe OTC product on audio call also. But yes, guidelines says, as far as possible, prefer to have a video consultation. Because in video consultation, there's a very less chances of missing any cues. You can define differential diagnosis. You can come to provisional diagnosis and you can prescribe. Yes, the second guidelines or second principle of same guidelines says that you cannot prescribe a drug till the time you come to conclusion of some provisional diagnosis. That can be confirmed, but clinically you can definitely come to some provisional diagnosis. So provisional diagnosis, writing on a prescription is mandatory. Telemedicine guidelines also says that inbuilt consent can be given by the patient in the form of oral or express. Oral, when they got connected, it is oral consent. But even the express consent, where patient can send a message on a chat box, on audio, on email, or on a video of his or her consent for proceeding treatment with you. Yes, guidelines do say that both the people should recognize each other and know each other, introduce each other. That's the reason why it is advisable for all medical practitioners to display their registration number, their name, so that patient can immediately recognize you by your name. And also you need to take some identification of a patient to know who the patient is, which can remove lots of lacunas on a video consultation. Telemedicine guidelines very clearly says the same way how you are examining the patient physically, you can examine the patient on teleconsultation. Means taking all the history, past history, going through all medical record at present, if need, advising some more investigation and informing a patient to again get consulted to you next day on a follow-up. After going through all the reports and clinical history of the patient, you can come down to some provisional diagnosis. Once you are confirmed of provisional diagnosis, you can prescribe a drug. That professional's judgment is enough. So judgment is based on what? Judgment is based on complete investigation, examination, past history, present history, and various other factors which you are doing in person. So telemedicine guidelines are so beautifully constituted. Yes, there are definitely a scenario situation comes where you need to have a BP recorded, pulse recorded, temperature recorded, where you feel that some physical examination by touching the body of patient is needed. This was also known to the lawmaker. So they have made a beautiful arrangement to overcome these flaws also. So they have allowed doctor-patient connection at one part, doctor-caregiver connection in other part. Caregiver means suppose patient is bedridden, there is a caregiver, or a minor child up to 16 years. Naturally, they can only get connected through caregiver. So caregiver in various cases. And third and very important factor, a very important thing is getting connected to health worker. Health worker recognized by the government through various certification, including nurses, paramedical staffs and others. They also can be a great support to you. So here, the benefit what you are going to get, that these people can examine in your absence physically. They can take a BP, they can take a pulse, they can take a temperature and whatever you advise them for the purpose of examination, and they can give you feedback. On the basis of that, you can define the diagnosis and can give a treatment. So through health worker, to remove the lacunas of not touching a patient on a video, and also through RMPs. So one doctor specialty or a specialized doctor get connected to the other doctor. That is reference model, which is been followed across the country. Like general practitioner referring to the specialized doctor, or ENT referring to the gynecologist, cross specialty or a specialty reference. So to overcome all this, the lawmaker has thought of that, and they have given another domain where doctor and other doctor, RMP versus RMP is another domain. So every possible lacuna has been removed by the lawmaker and made teleconsultation practice as good as you are examining a patient in person. Yes, for prescribing a drug, lawmaker has thought at the initial phase to allow you with the basic drugs. But basic drugs covers every possible things which you are using in OPD basis. So category O, category A, category B drugs are there, which covers almost majority of drugs, and also X scheduled drug, which is prohibited, NDPS drug, which is prohibited, is also have been thought by the lawmaker when they are considering the telemedicine guidelines. So telemedicine guidelines, OTC products are allowed to you, which comes under O category. All sort of OTC product, over-the-counter product, which you can use even if you're not seen a patient on a video consultation, first timer also. For all other people, yes, for follow-up anytime. A category drug only when you do a new patient on a video consultation, which includes your antibiotic, which includes other things. Category B drug, which is a fillers or a continuation drug of follow-up patient, like for diabetes, for hypertension, other thing, which you have already prescribed and wanted to continue the drug in various chronic diseases, and they are the follow-up patients, you can definitely use the mechanism of that. So drugs are also available for you. Prescription model is definitely been given under the telemedicine guidelines. Once you have gone through the patient, examined all his report, came to conclusion of some provisional diagnosis, and then you prescribed a drug. The format of the prescription is already given under the technology platform. You can definitely write a prescription, have a copy of letterhead with you, upload the prescription, which wherever your patient is in any part of the country, they can take a printout or they can take on their WhatsApp and can go to medical store, and medical store can dispense the drug to them, and patient can continue with the treatment, and when needed, they will again connect you for the follow-up. So prescription model is also given. Privacy and security is well talked, but that is also been taken care because responsibility on a professionals are less, because if they are with some aggregator or with some service provider, the responsibility of service provider is more for looking for the privacy and confidentiality of the patient rather than a doctor, because they have given a great support to the doctor, saying that if doctor can justify that he was unaware about the fact, then he can be safeguarded. But yes, nowadays telemedicine platforms are looking towards that particular domain also and protecting their doctors by keeping a medical records. Yes, medical record that need to be kept properly, because in liabilities are going to be the same what you are having in-person liability. So medical records plays very important role. For medical record, naturally your service provider who are using cloud and all sort of security domain can save all videos, all audios, all documents, which can be downloaded by you whenever you need and can be saved as a medical records. Because liabilities cannot be avoided even in telemedicine practice. Because I have got cases of telemedicine also, multiple cases of telemedicine where patient has allegated a doctor for causing a negligent treatment or death and otherwise. But these are going to be beneficial to you when you got a medical record. So telemedicine platforms are also there to take care of that particular domain, and you can be safeguarded. Medical record can be kept. Liability in the form of criminal liability, civil liability in the form of compensation of consumer fora, or a medical counsel liability in the form of action against your medical registration are also going to be with telemedicine consultation, where you need to have across the country advocates to support you, because cases can be filed where patient lies or resides or work for the gain. Opportunity is much there, but liability is definitely going to be there. Challenges are going to be there, but you need not have to worry. Truly, friend, you need not have to worry when you are thinking of going to this domain. Because if you have chosen the platform which take care about all these factors, so I don't think that is going to be any problem for you for doing a telemedicine consultation with any fear.